Hello, Divine Journey of a Wounded Angel. No matter when you watch this, I hope that something I say resonates with you, or maybe has you thinking about a loved one, a family member, a neighbor that maybe recognize some of the signs. So um, please like, subscribe, and share. Just trying to get this message out there to everyone. So today I need to, most people start at the beginning. Unfortunately, in my case, I need to start, I say a lot of ums. I need to start with the almost end to be able to go back to the beginning to come full circle to where I'm at right now, being able to share my story with very limited tears. I couldn't do it before. So almost 3 years ago, April, I was spiraling out of control. I I hurt. I hurt so bad. I was so confused. Um, you know, I was trying to do it all, be it all, and please everyone. I was having loads of flashbacks. I I was trying to run away from the pain that was coming in. As much as I tried, I couldn't block it out of my mind. Um, and I was, I guess I was mirroring um, everything that had occurred in my life onto what I thought my reality was. I had been battling depression for several years. Looking back now, I think when I had my youngest son, I suffered from postpartum depression and just never really fully healed. Um, I just, I was in overload. If I stayed busy, um, then I didn't have to think about it. And at night, um, you know, once once I put my son to bed, I would drink until I'd pass out because nights were the hardest. Nights is when you're still and everything comes to you. Uh, I was just depleted from every angle in my life, and many a times just drove around the block. I didn't want to go home. I was I was not in a bad relationship. It was just not a supportive relationship. However, again, looking back, I didn't allow support. Um, I didn't allow anyone to take care of me. I was never going to have to belittle myself to ask a man for money. Um, it, I just refused, and no one could do it like I could do it, so I did it all. And then I would complain about it. I I was working in a very male-dominated world, and unfortunately, in corporate America, it's no different than politics. Things occur, and you have basically two choices: look the other way or speak up and take the consequences. I'd gotten sick of looking the other way, and I watched cancel culture occur, and they pulled me into it. And when that happened, that opened a gateway to my past, and I really, really struggled. Really. You know, it's not okay. I don't care if you wear, you know, I don't care if you have that $2,000 Armani suit, or if you bought your clothes at the Goodwill. If you make a woman feel less than, you're wrong. And to think that because a woman is wearing little amount of clothes, that does not give you the right to make sexual contents, to touch a female, and to expect your employees to look the other way. It's just wrong, it's rude, and I'm glad I'm out of that world. I'm not saying that every man is like that, because there's some really great guys. However, you add women barely dressed, alcohol, and a group of alpha men, you're going to have the perverts come out. Simple as that. So all of this was happening all at one time, and I had nowhere to escape. I couldn't escape out of it. I was the breadwinner. I had to go to work, and I had to face these people, and I watched I watched my life be literally, they were able to terminate a person based on lies. Granted, he was not innocent. However, the ones that did it, they weren't innocent either. And then, my chances of income kept lowering and lowering, and I had no control over it. I had none. And as much as I begged, well, no, I didn't beg. I spoke up. I spoke up a lot. Every chance I could. I would actually get my hand smacked for speaking up on conference calls where the CEO or CFO was on. Well, he would say, is there anyone have any questions, cares, or concerns? I do. And I felt I had no other choice but to leave and try to find an opportunity to make a living starting over. Started off great, had a great boss, learning the territory. I knew I had a lot of work to do. And January, everything changed. So this was 2018. And I won't go into the details. However, I stood outside waiting for my son to get off the bus, who was in first grade, and he didn't. And I was presented later that evening with a PFA. I was able 10 days later to go to court, sit in a courthouse until somebody saw me and got my son back. And it was used as a tool for manipulation to gain custody child support and spousal support. And, it devastated me. I couldn't sleep in my own bed because it was across the hall from my son's bed, and I couldn't look at his empty bed. I just couldn't. I sat and stared out a window for 10 days, and yet I had to go to work. I had a new boss, and I was mentally fried. I was broken. All I knew how to do was be a mom. In my mind, that was the only thing that I was good at, was being a mom. And now I couldn't be a mom. I didn't even know where he was. So then the court battles started. And, I'd win one battle and lose the next. And I put my faith in the angels, and boy, oh boy, they kept me strong. However, I was drinking even more as the pain was overwhelming. I can't even describe the pain, the panic, the fear, the isolation, the judgments, and the criticism I gave myself. I beat myself up every minute. I also had a manager riding me, questioning my worth, which I was so good at questioning my worth. And now he added on top of it. And I would try to go to my accounts, and I would pull up, and I would get an email from my attorney, or a past due bill, a new court date, and I would just cry. I couldn't go in. I couldn't do it. My job is selling. My job is building relationships, and I couldn't. I used to be very good at hiding. I was an actress. For years, nobody knew what my life was. 20 years ago, when I was being abused every day, nobody knew. As I was so good at acting, and I couldn't act anymore. I just really couldn't act. So I drank, and I drank, and I drank, and I made some stupid decisions. Thank God I never made any legal dumb decisions. I never harmed anyone but myself. But it did cause a lot of problems with family and friends, because when I got drunk, it was truth serum, and it gave me the courage to say things that I always wanted to say, and yet the next day apologize for them. So February of 2018, I battled in court. I battled my boss. I struggled. My territory was slowly falling apart. And then in March, I got a phone call that my mother was taken to the emergency room, and it wasn't good. Called all the family, ran there, and my mother had gone into kidney failure. And for 5 days, we would have good news and then bad news, good news and then bad news. And unfortunately, as a sibling, there was a lot of struggles. We're all battling our own demons from our childhood. And there was a lot of struggles in getting along, and a lot of things occurred. And then we had to make the decision to take my mother off of life support. And I couldn't leave the hospital. I just couldn't. And I always wanted my mom to say she was proud of me, and she didn't. But I wanted to tell her how sorry I was for not being what she wanted me to be and not doing more. And yet, knowing in my heart I did everything I could, and I knew she loved me. I knew she just had a tough way of saying it because some of my other siblings needed her attention more. So we all hurt when we had to say our final goodbye, and watching a loved one take their last breath is one of the most devastating things in the world. And I've had to do that with an uncle and my mother and many, many animals. So this just added to my brokenness. And I was still battling in court and a boss that had very high expectations of me, and I don't blame him. He should have. So I don't even know how I made it through the month of March, and I honestly don't remember much of March. I was trying so hard to make it through the day just so I could come home and drink and go to sleep. April, I got hit with a large bill that I would have to pay monthly. And I begged, and literally begged in a courtroom, please don't make me pay this kind of money a month. I'm going to end up losing my home. I've worked so hard. Didn't matter. It's a calculation. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. You owe a percentage of your income to the other person, regardless. It's predetermined. So I came home and I tried to apply for the equity from my home so I could make it. And again, I was just going through the day. And it was a Saturday. And I was going to be happy. My son was with his father, and I picked up some strip tickets to help the rescue, and I was going to go out and sell, and I was going to get a new fish, and I had the animals, and I was going to have a great day. Stopped for lunch, had a couple beers, went home, and got the mail. And it was my denial letter. And I just sat and drank. And I had the argument, the angel and the devil. I had a handful of pills, and I don't know how they got in my hand. The angel kept saying, they love you. Things will work out. And the devil said, but if you go, your life insurance will pay off the house, and your son can stay in his home. Your retirement will go to your kids, and and everything will be okay, and no one's going to miss you anyways. Look, nobody's called to see how you are. You're screaming for help, yet nobody's showing up. So I took a handful of pills, and it took 2 drinks of a beer, 2 sips, gulps, because that's the only way I knew how to drink was gulp, and they were down. And as soon as they went down, I said, "What the hell did you just do?" I sent texts to my kids, my ex, and a friend, and I don't even remember what I said, but I'm sure it was something like, "I love you. I can't do this anymore." And then I went in the bathroom to try to throw them up, and I got some down and got very dizzy and laid down. I woke up to my room filled with police, ambulance, my daughter, and I don't know who else. And the ride to the hospital, I just kept saying, "What did I do? What did I do?" I signed myself in for treatment, and laying in that room, it's not a padded room like people say, but it was like a closet big enough to hold the bed that I was on. And I had to lay there knowing what I did. And I prayed and prayed and prayed to God to forgive me. And I know that an angel saved me that night. Ended up, I took a bunch of dog medicine to help calm them, antibiotics. So, but it was the start of my life. And as terrible as the next, I would say, 72 hours was, because unfortunately, those first 24 hours, in my opinion, you're treated so poorly, so poorly. You obviously don't care about yourself to want to take your life, but then you have to strip in front of someone. You have to get so vulnerable. Your vanity is taken. You are no longer alone, and you're not allowed to be alone. And you have to go to the bathroom with somebody standing there. And privacy, forget privacy. But boy, oh boy, that was the beginning. That was the beginning. And I'm not saying that everyone in those rooms for those next, I don't know, I think it was 2-3 weeks I was in there. I'm not saying everyone made it, but I was never, ever gonna look back. And now that I told you kind of how we got to this point, now I can start sharing the things that I've overcome, the blessings that I now see, the strength that I now have, and all of the doors inside that I've opened. I've peeled back so many layers, and it's rough to sit with. It really and truly is rough to sit with. However, I'm here. I was given a new day, new opportunities, and that's why I'll share, because I've been there. I know how hard it is, and I know just the topic of suicide is awful, and a lot of you are going to say that was the weakest, most selfish thing you could do. Unfortunately, in my mind at that moment, I wasn't being selfish at all. I was actually making you guys not have to deal with me anymore, not have to live with the pain that I was causing, and to provide you with what I thought was the most valuable part of me, is my income, my money. Because see, I didn't think highly of me at all. I didn't think I had anything else to give. So I didn't think that you guys were going to lose anything. I really thought the world would be better. And now? No way. You guys are never going to lose me. Because now, I don't care if I have no one. I love me. And I am I'm the battles that I have fought since that day and won. And it's every day. Do I have bad days? Absolutely. I posted that yesterday. However, I catch myself, and I have so many things to be grateful for. And I'm going to help show you guys that you can overcome. But know that if you are in the deep, dark hell of depression, people really do care. And they really do love you. And they really, really will miss you. So there's so much help out there. And I know personally that I felt I was screaming at the top of my lungs to everyone to please help me. And yet I really wasn't, because I was so good pretending. My phrase was, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm okay. I wasn't okay. I wasn't fine. I wasn't me. I am now. But now I say, no, I'm not really doing good today, but we'll see. The day just started. I've set huge boundaries. I don't allow negative into my world anymore. Not the TV, not people. You learn quickly. You learn quickly who's there. So that's for another day. You guys have an awesome day, and remember, you are needed in this world. Love you guys, and we'll talk soon. Have an awesome day.